Hello, I'm Nathan Howe, Department Head of Interior Architecture and Industrial Design. And I want to talk to you a little bit about our Masters of Interior Architecture. It's a 5-year degree, and you can start as a freshman, or you can transfer in, or if you have a bachelor's degree, you can come in and you can do it in 2 to 3 years. So it's a pretty unique experience that our students go through. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. So the projects that we do, it's pretty amazing. We work at all scales. We work from the object scale, such as furniture and lighting, to the spatial, the architecture scale. Our projects are a vast amount of scales too, from treehouse design to tiny houses to cafes and markets and retail shops. You name it, our students design it. And it really gets them comfortable with kind of all scales, all the different types of interactions with people and their workplace and their living place. And we really feel like we prepare our students for the profession in a way that they become empathizers of how people need to work and grow and be healthy in today's society. So I think the next thing I need to do is maybe show you a project or two. Come on. So one of the projects that our students do is they enter competitions. And one of the competitions they routinely enter is the Steelcase Next competition. Now this goes out to all the interiors programs across the country. And over 1,000 entries were entered a couple years ago. And of those, they invite 5 to Grand Rapids, Michigan to present to them and eventually tell you who the winner is. Well, those 5, 2 of them were from our department. And the eventual winner is this one. This is Chloe Cudney's work. And you can see it's a beautiful piece of work where our students really look at how the lighting design, how the architecture, how the furniture, all these things come together in a beautiful, comprehensive piece. And they really work out every space, from a child care center to this space where they get to move up and down. But it's not just stairs. They actually have places where they can work, places where they can talk, places where they can collaborate, integrated into those stairs. So talk about integration. Let's move over here. So one of the beautiful things about our program is that we not only teach you about space and how to design architecture, but also how to execute it. And one of the ways that we do that is our furniture design sequence. We get you into our world-class shop and we get your hands dirty. And you learn how to actually make things. And not only dream them, but to make them, execute them. So here you can see an amazing amount of projects. From desks to chairs to soft seating to shelves to wardrobe, all those things are what our students have custom designed. And they learn not only how the materials come together, but really how they interact with the body, how the tactile, how they feel when you're sitting down. Are they comfortable? Do they do what you actually want them to do? All those things are important here. And I have one more thing to show you. I want you to meet Rue. So this was a project that was designed a few years ago by a design team that were 5th years. And it was done in concert with OFS. They're a national furniture manufacturer. And this was to create an occasional table, but not just one table, to create a whole family. And so what you can see here is what the design teams, they were prototyping here in our shop. And eventually, at the end of the semester, OFS decided to pick it up. And so a year out of school, our students were hitting the marketplace with their designs. And they not only get the honor of their designs being out there, but they also get royalties. And so a year out, they were winning a national award that professionals would covet. So this could be you here in a few years. So I'll leave you at that, And I know we have an exciting agenda for you, and you're going to learn about a day in the life of interior architecture.
My name is Romain and I'm in interior architecture and product design.
Hello, my name is Ashley Prestegard.
Hi, I'm Lauren and I'm in interior architecture.
My name is Jessica Okenadel and I'm a third year.
My name is Maggie Ferguson. I'm a third year in interior architecture and industrial design. And my favorite part about this major is not having to write papers and just getting to be creative and make things.
The main reason I chose IA or interior architecture is because you really have a choice in what you work on. Like the projects you work on will have so many, like the scale is super large. Like while it's all small scale stuff usually, like in comparison to architecture, you can really do furniture, products, or even interior spaces. And so I like that you get to pretty much do whatever you want to do.
I like interior architecture because it's just super creative and it's really unique.
My favorite project was probably the treehouse project from second year because it was our first interior architecture project, and it's really intimidating going in, but doing it is very exciting because you learn that you can do whatever but with a purpose, and it's just fun because that's the first time you really get to learn about laying out spaces, creating a beautiful structure in the spaces on the inside, and learning how people go through and what works best and what doesn't. And it kind of sets a standard for you kind of learn how you work your best and what is the right procedure for you, because it's different for everyone. And it's always entertaining and exciting to learn how you work and what excites you and what doesn't. So the treehouse project was a treehouse located in the woods. It was located in the woods, and we had 500 square feet to create a space for people to come visit a factory nearby that it was based off of. But the only requirement is that it had to be off the ground, like a treehouse, and be within that square footage. So it was, while making it, I wasn't sure. It was my first project. I wasn't sure if what I was doing was right or wrong, but I was just doing it because I enjoyed it. And we got through, and I was very, very pleased with my design. But honestly, I look back and I'm disgusted at some things, which I feel most people are. First and second year, you're still learning, and everyone's in the same boat. No one's gonna make a perfect project for their very first project. I'm very happy with it because I was passionate about it, and it's always interesting to look back. I'm proud of myself and what I've accomplished, and I've learned from it, and that's all that really matters.
My favorite project, I like a lot of them. I really like the one we just did, the winery, just because it was really cool to have this building and just get to fill it in. They give you just the bones of the structure, and we just get to build it up from there. And it was one of the first times I felt really comfortable with the computer programs that we were learning. So I got to see it in fruition, and it was just really cool to see everyone else's. Also, the fact that we were all asked to make a winery, but we all created such different things was really cool at the end to see everyone's different interpretation of the same project.
My freshman year, studio was extremely influential in who I became as a person because, like, regardless if you want to or not, you're going to spend a lot of time there. And with that comes like the people that you're spending time with too. And so my freshman year, my closest friends were the people that were in my studio.
Studio culture, I like working with people going through the same things, learning the same things, and so evidently you're like struggling with the same things as well. And so you're able to just do it with them and kind of grow at the same, maybe not the same pace, but you're growing in the same environment, and it's just kind of cool to see. I don't think any other major you'd be able to do that.
I was always really excited to go into studio every night just to see my friends and see where they are. I love seeing other people's projects and what place they're at and where I am at and how I can help them and how they can help me. It's just, we're all in this together, and that's like not something you get from any other major, because you go into a class with people you don't know in like every single class. And so having friends and having those people in all your classes, you just get to help everyone. It's like we're all in one big club together and just besties.
First year, you'll have a commonplace book, which is what we call a sketchbook, and each professor does it a little differently, but you'll have assigned sketches and you'll learn the basics of how to put what you're seeing on paper proportionally, getting the forms right and the scale, and learn about shading, values, and color. So when you first start a project, one of your first steps is going to be to sketch out any of your initial ideas and just basically get all of your ideas out onto paper and try to flush them out more and see if they are actually doable. In your first year, you'll learn a lot about sketching. It's not that important to come in. You don't have to be the best artist coming in, I should say, but you will learn a lot about sketching.
A lot of the times in the initial stages of the project, professors will actually assign sketches as homework. It's a really good way to communicate what you're seeing in your head in a way that they can understand your ideas, and it's a really effective method for understanding the 3-dimension in 2-dimension to make it a lot simpler and to really understand what's going on in the spaces you're designing. As you go on through your educational career, you'll get to do a lot of turning your 2-dimensional sketches into 3 dimensions by rendering. So we start out with basic sketching and then learn simple hand rendering things. So you go from pencil into maybe some color with colored pencils or markers or watercolor. And then eventually those sketches can get more digital as you go through the program and you get your computer and things like that.
So in your second year, you will begin working on computers more heavily. So important programs would be like the Adobe Suite, which include like Premiere and Adobe Photoshop and Illustrator and InDesign. And as you keep going, you start looking at Rhino, which is a lot of 3D modeling and detailing how to convey what you're trying to make in 3D as well as 2D on paper. And as you continue further, you end with Revit, which is our main architectural program that helps us create our buildings, make them realistic. And lastly, we render using Enscape, which really brings our drawings to life and completes the project.
Hey, welcome to the shop. Please grab any eye protection and ear protection and tie back all your hair. Okay, welcome to the metal shop. Here we bend, cut, drill metal, even weld it together and sand it for furniture prototypes. This is a woodworking lab. Anything you can design, we can probably make with any of these machines. We even have a glue room and finish room, as well as an upholstery lab.
Something I feel like is really important to just know as a student in architecture and interior architecture is that you, to a certain extent, get to decide your schedule. Outside of your classes that you have to be in, kind of when you choose to work is up to you, and the life that you want to have in college is also up to you.
One thing I wish somebody would have told me, just specifically freshman year, like going into architecture, any of the architecture majors, is that, you know, like this is about to be like a really big part of your life. Like you are going to be in here a lot. You are going to learn a lot. It's going to change who you are, but like you, like yourself, you are not defined by your major. You are not defined by like your profession you're going into. Like you're still you. You're still developing as a person, and like who you become like is going to change a lot in the next few years, but like that's okay.
One thing I wish I was told would be not take anything you're learning for granted, because I know it's like this for a lot of other majors, but you maybe have a class that you're like, why am I learning about this? I have no interest in this. But I promise you it all helps you in the long run, because like the projects you do in freshman year, some of them are really abstract and I personally did not like them. So I'm really having fun in third year right now because we're doing like more realistic things, I suppose, but everything you're learning has a point. Every class you take, just learn everything you can, don't take anything for granted, because it all helps you grow as a designer, helps you be as good as you want to be. So just get every nugget of knowledge you can get, yeah, and run with it. So.